Continue. Okay. Good to go. Here we go. Hey guys, I'm Phoenix here, and I've just watched a video. It's released by the Satisfactory guys. They have sold 500,000 copies, a bit over that, 507,000 copies, something like that, those lines. Essentially, they've sold 500,000 copies of this game, which is in early access. It's a factory builder, so it's reasonably niche. But it is exclusively released as in an early access state on the Epic Store. Now, I think there's certainly some reasons why they've got so many copies sold. It's 3D. It's a 3D factory builder, so that it's reasonably niche, and you haven't got the it's quite an accessible game. It looks good because there are people out there that hate sort of the spritey type of graphics, and yeah, it plays well. You know, there's plenty of videos out there. It looks awesome. You know, actually, this is the first time I've loaded up this game since a couple of weeks ago when I got very ill. And yeah, it looks good. You can do all kinds of awesome things with it. It's just, you know, it's a good looking game, etc. But still, it was only released on the Epic Store. And there are so many people out there who, as soon as they see any mention of the Epic Store, it's, I'm not going to buy this. I don't care. I don't want it on the Epic Store. I want it on the Steam Store. Bring it to Steam and then I'll buy it. And yet they have sold 500,000 copies of this game. And I think that's excellent. So, well done, Coffee Stain. You do deserve it. You know, Sanctum was a good game. I liked Sanctum and Sanctum 2. Goat Simulator, which I thought, I didn't buy it. It's just it's a silly physics game. But this is good. It kind of takes the whole Factorio style and then does something new and interesting with it. And I think that's excellent. So yeah, well done. So anyway, I'm going to play a short burst of Satisfactory. I'm going to work out what I did and what I need to do. It all got a little out of hand, I remember that. So I had like all these conveyor belts that sort of meshed over here, so I condensed them in. Actually, this isn't even the end of it. Let me find my buggy. Ah yes, last time we spoke, Satisfactory wise, I'd said this buggy, it's alright, I probably won't use it very much, you know, just sort of getting from point A to point B. No, I'm using it a lot now. It's great. It's just you just say, yeah, I want to go there, and you just go there, and it can clamber up surfaces and all sorts of cool stuff. So I'm going to run and get that, and you can see a little bit of quite what happened. It all kind of got a little out of control. This is the next area which I need to overhaul. I know that, and get sort of the power lines set up properly. Yeah, this thing, it's awesome. Now let me just get rid of these belts because I don't need them. I still need to just sort of work out what I was actually up to, so bear with me. But we'll, you know, do a little bit of a tour because I can't remember. So this area is the old area. Oh yeah, I've moved things around. I've moved things around a lot. Okay, so we're on the old area here. So what we need to do is we need to go over here. So what I did was I rebuilt the area so that it was matching up with where all the copper and stuff was. So let's go for a short drive. Right, this thing's awesome. I've got a little bit of drift to it, which is nice, but it's not over the top. You can correct it easily. You can get a little bit of air and stuff. Right, so it all started up here. So I overhauled this area so that the trucks could come in wait for a bit to be unloaded, and then that would all be unloaded and processed into the various systems. So it's all automatically creating something anyway. And then I thought, well, you know what? Because I've redone this bit, I do need a road down. That means that if I need to get quick wire up here, I can easily do that because I can set up a new run with a new truck. But I've got loads of stuff in the way, so I unified all of this into here, replacing all the concrete up with this stuff. Rebuilt this area, I think. Yeah, I must have done. I can't remember what happened here, but anyway, it's here. So I've got sort of biofuel production over here. Then over here I moved, God, what was this? Modular frames. So that's making modular frames, that was over this way, so that's just doing that now. Steel got moved down here. I haven't quite plumbed all of that in yet. And then going on down over here, I had to move the storage modules because they no longer worked with the new setup. So going through here and up here, we've got our new storage facility, which is all, again, sort of locked in with the main base. So this is a new storage facility. This will be about 40-ish, 30, about 30, I think, stacks of cargo containers. And it's set up so that the items go in at the top, and so you can easily just walk up to a thing that's got something in it. Yeah, here we go, like these, and it fills from the bottom up. So if I took something out of here and I had more stuff above it, it would just automatically fill it in, and then there'll be cargo, crafting stuff up here as well. Just moving around the corner, so we've got our radar tower up, and there will be a truck stop to unload certain things out of there. And then I moved the hub and the space elevator up here, because the space elevator at this point, it doesn't really do much. I've done everything here that I needed to. However, the hub may not actually have anything that it needs to do, apart from obviously when I get alien organs. Yes, I do need to do the alien organs one, but hard drives as well. So yeah, and then that's it. So I am going to go for a little drive for a moment, because I do want to see if I can find some more hard drives. Actually, no. I'll do that off camera, I think. I will do some moving around with things, actually, because I do need to... This can stay because it's providing me power. Oh, I also put in a couple of geothermal power things, so I don't need to worry about power for the moment, because I'm not using a huge amount of power. I think this is because most of my stuff isn't actually doing anything, and I need to fix that, because I've got containers that I need to fill and build. I also need to build them. So let's do some of that, shall we? Right, so all of this needs to be upgraded to the new system. Yeah, this dude. I had some issues with online, and the only way I was able to log in was sort of in an offline mode, and it's created some guy, and I can't move him. So yeah, there's that. Just ignore him. He'll go away at some point, or when we're not looking at him. So what are these? I keep forgetting you can just walk up these ladders. Oh yeah, and I cleared out all the coal stuff, so all of that's unified. I don't need coal generators, so that's fine. I'd like to get this clear so that I can rebuild these walkway ramps. I'll just do that. Foundations. And organisation. There you go. So now I can easily get up there. Excellent. So yeah, this I think it's good news for games like these. We also saw something similar when Prison Architect was released. You know, a fairly niche game where stuff had been released in the past, but it just wasn't a very interesting way of doing things. And so Introversion releases Prison Architect, which is a fairly simplistic game to look at. But there's an awful lot going on under the hood, and they sold 250,000 copies, and that was by a company that was legally bankrupt. They didn't have much money left. Technically, they probably should have filed for bankruptcy. They were technically trading illegally, I believe. They sort of admitted to that, but they didn't close their doors. They kept going, and they pulled themselves out of trouble, which was, you know, it's good. It's good to have these sort of success stories. So, you know, I really do support any company that is able to sell copies for just being a good game. All in all, no matter what drama they've got going on around them, they're ultimately what they're doing is they are creating a good game. So, you know, obviously supporting that is a good thing. Right, this is where it gets a little bit complicated because I can't remember where everything goes. I mean, I did sort of also wonder how many. I can't just remove them with that. How many people who claimed they were not going to buy the game actually bought the game? Because there will be people who basically say, "Oh, well, I'm not going to buy that game because it's an Epic exclusive," and then they buy the game anyway. And just because, yeah, you know, they want to play something that is this good. So yeah, no, it's a good thing, and I think it's also a good thing for Epic in a way, because it's kind of showing that if they keep at it, oh, you can grab that one as well. Yeah, if they keep at it and try and do the best thing possible for their consumer, then people will reward them by buying their games, or, you know, buying the games that are on their service. So yeah, get rid of all this. Don't need any of this. We need the power lines, I think, because my power system is a little messy still. I'd quite like to see sort of versions of these, but smaller and kind of snap to walls, like so that I can just sort of chain. You know, they only need sort of two, you know, an input and an output, really, like the wall conveyors, but sort of for tidying up cabling. Just cabling gets a little bit all over the place. Right, this one can go as well. I don't even know what's in here. Some cabling. Okay. I mean, thankfully, the news has been quite quiet in general this week. You know, apart from Starbury's news, which I think I covered early on in the week anyway. Which is a bit of a shame that a games company's doing badly. You know, it's sort of the opposite side of the coin that, unfortunately, there are games companies that are doing really badly at the moment. I think in the case of Starbury's, they put an awful lot of eggs into their Walking Dead game, and it just wasn't as good as they'd hoped. So, yeah, that's a bit of a thing. Let's take all this wall down. Right, this mess, God. This needs to be pulled up into the main area, I think. So all of this basically needs to come over here and go in and be slotted in here. Problem I have is my inventory is getting really full. So maybe I need to go and get some tubes and get some of these in sort of almost like a temporary storage. I could probably whip something up actually just out of what I've got. Just a yeah. Okay, so let's put it over here. I want it to go up. I think so. Stuff sort of comes out there and it goes into there. That's basically what I want, because I want to just do that, and then I can say, well, I don't need any of this, because I'm going to be taking an awful lot of stuff down, and it's just going to say, hey, we're going to empty this out into the one above. Okay, so that's going to just do its own thing, and we can make that bigger. As time goes on, and as we demolish more crates, we can just do that. What do I have? There we go. I need to keep these in, definitely. It's a bit of a shame to be knocking this down. I did quite an interesting job. Apart from up here, this could have been a little cleaner. So I tried to do sort of a multi-tier system, and I don't think it really worked very well. I don't know what's going to happen if I remove that power pole, unfortunately. There's an awful lot of dependencies here, where I can't necessarily remove what I need to remove, because stuff may stop working, like majorly, like, you know, properly majorly. So yeah, I'll be a little careful about what I remove. these out. That's got an awful lot of random stuff in it, which I probably should fix at some point. Let's get these assemblers clear, because I can actually start putting these assemblers in, I think, up here. Maybe one sort of here, and then the other one over here. It's very strange that I demolished 2 assemblers and I only seem to... Oh, yeah, because it had some stuff in it. Right, okay. So I want to probably just build a road somewhere over here somewhere maybe, or maybe in here, so we bring the conveyor belts up and over so that I can get a truck easily underneath. So that would have to go up by 3 and then over the top. That we can do nice and easily. So maybe we'll build our road in here, drop it down here. So we'll need a way to get in if we need to with our vehicles. And then I'll just put in a line of these for safety's sake, and then we'll put in the road down here. So this will go down by 1. And probably do our roadways 2 by 2. It's going to be fun sorting out the cabling. It's going to be a bit of a job, that one. I mean, you know, things like that can be removed, but then I can quickly put that in. And we want it over here as well. No. There we go. So this will be our roadway for getting trucks through. So we'll need to go up by 1 on the other side. Ah, no. Aiming is hard at this time on a Friday night. Fun part is going to be moving these containers. I'm not sure completely how to do this. Well, let's get rid of what I've got in my inventory first, and I can probably move this. Start with by moving the screws. The screws? Oh, the rods would probably be a good one to start with. Storage, organisation, storage. Let's put another one in. Sorry if I'm a bit quiet, actually. Kind of concentrating and kind of not really. Probably shouldn't have streamed, but yeah, I wanted to talk about how awesome that is. That Satisfactory's got so much money. Money? No, not money. The other one. People looking, money as well, but yeah, people actually playing the game. I think it's good. Right. So, got even more of these things. You know what? They'll end up in storage containers anyway, and I can just clear this away. And that means that I can start getting the new side of things set up. That looks good. You know, that's it's coming on quite nicely. Just wish there was a way to get rid of these rocks. There is a way of getting rid of some rocks, but not these ones. You can also get rid of them if you use your chainsaw nearby when you're cutting plants, but other than that, just kind of have to deal with it. yeah, neatness that up a bit. Sort of put sort of power pole in either side, so that we can do that, and then sort of neaten it up like that. So power poles either side of the road, and then that can split off into the various areas. And yeah, you're right. Just get all this stuff into here. Oh, the other big news, in case you follow British politics, yeah, the other big news is that Theresa May has officially stepped down as Prime Minister. This doesn't really mean very much. She's still she stepped down as leader of the Tory party, which basically means that she's no longer the Prime Minister, except that she kind of is, until a replacement is found. So, yeah, there's that. That was an interesting piece of news, I thought. The replacements are all fairly awful. The only one that looked reasonable, he's a complete underdog and he's not going to get in. Yeah, he's I can't even remember his name. Rory Stewart, I think. He seemed like the sort of the man who could get things done. Which, if you are reasonably sane and don't like the idea of Brexit, then he's a terrible guy to get in power, because he'll probably get it done, and he'll probably actually do quite a good job of it as well, from what I was reading about him. Reasonably down to earth. The worst thing that he's done is he did some drugs in Iran at a wedding about 15 years ago. That's literally the worst thing that people have found about him. And quite frankly, if that's the worst thing that he's done, then really? I find it a little over the top when the media are banging on about something that, ultimately he did it 15 years ago, compared to, say, Boris Johnson, who was sent off by Theresa May to Germany to do a trade deal, and he came back with like 2 or 3 water cannon, which the UK don't use. For civil disturbance, we don't use water cannon in the UK. So just why, is this useless thing? And you got other politicians who have all said some pretty abhorrent things, and they're all in the running for Prime Minister, because in the UK what you can do in theory is use a popular figure to win an election, and then sub them out for someone else once the party has won. Like, the next week. Yep, bang. Yep. And not this person anymore, it's some new guy that you've never heard of, and now he's bringing in all these horrible policies. That's just how British politics works. Well, we won't have any say in that. We get we get the ability to question the potential Prime Minister, but we don't have any power to say yay or nay, which is another big failing of the British system, that you can just bring in a new Prime Minister without any democratic say in it, especially when you have Tories potential Prime Ministers this week, one of them said that if he gets into power, what he will do is he will end the session, thereby technically firing all the MPs. You know, they go off away for their summer holidays, so they end the session. They'll be back, but it's at that point where they do a hard Brexit vote. The MPs can't respond because they're not in Parliament anymore, and the deal gets passed. You know, that's the level of that these people want to stoop to, and I find it quite funny because, you know, at a time when people are saying, well, we can't have another referendum because that's not how democracy works. Okay, so you'll try and sneak Brexit through by ending Parliament, and then, you know, just saying, all right, now we've gone now. You know, you could have come in, but we did this vote on the sneak. That's apparently something they can do, and that's completely democratic. Not completely suddenly know what democracy is anymore, but you know. So yeah, that was the thing that happened. I've got so many plates. I need to get all this into the main system, but for the now, while I build these roadways, so I can get trucks in here. Oh God, so much. I really did make a lot of plates, didn't I? It's probably good that this thing isn't running, otherwise I'd just... I need to go to this one first. Can I just... Oh, I couldn't get it. I can actually just pull that out. Okay, let's get those in. That one can go. It's stuff like this that I mean. It's just this horrible... Oh God, I've removed the wrong one. Yeah, it's this horrible mess of cabling that doesn't really make a huge amount of sense when you start laying it out correctly. So this one is hooked into a power cable that's somewhere over here, apparently. Yeah, it's in that one. So, oh God. There we go. Right. So now we have a road which we can drive along. My frame rate is not happy, but yeah. Let's get it up. Get it up. There we go. So yeah, now we've got a road we can drive along, which is nice. Just need to fill in this gap here. Yeah, that looks good. And I am going to end this here, I think. I'm dying a bit still. Might be back at the weekend. Got nothing else to do. Yeah, we might be back at the weekend for some more stuff. But I think for now I'm going to end it here. So with that, I will say, well done to Coffee Stain Studios for selling over 500,000 copies. It's what we want to see more of. I like the game, so yeah, keep doing what you're doing, really. And so yeah, I'll also say thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.